Princess Catherine's solar return chart, which is the predictive monthly calendar, but we're going to look at her sister's chart too to see what we can see about Princess Catherine. See it. I've got a eclipse special, an eclipse special. It is just go to the link in the members section. So valedictorians are members. The reason this channel even exists is because of you. So wanted to give you a nice discount there. So check it out. The link should still be active. And also go to Amazon if you're interested in reading some of my books, The Secret Career Code and Forensic Astrology. This is a calendar from astrologyhoroscopereadings.com. I love these calendars because they show me what's going on with Mercury retrograde and remind me. And the 15th was really when everything was shifting like mad. The first as well. We had the 1st, the 11th, the 15th, the 19th. And then also there's going to be a date in April when it shifts the magnetic energy and gives us weather, some pretty dramatic weather too. So I like to take a look out for that. We're at March 19th. So tomorrow we get a little bit, apparently, we get a little bit less of that mercurial energy. But it usually, because when the colors change there, it does mean that something gets activated. So we'll have to see what happens. But we do have some quite I would say dramatic weather coming up, at least for Texas. I think we're going to have a freeze. So definitely check out some of my shows when I talk about the weather. The last one was the great storms and a lot of ice. So interesting that ice is in the chart right now because it is, part of what everybody's talking about with regard to immigration. It is the agency that enforces over in the US here, immigration and customs. It's gotten pretty strong. And so you're saying so much ice, but it's kind of stuck right now. They're trying to move forward, but they can't. If you want to look at your own solar return chart, you are going to go to your chart for your last birthday. So if you haven't had your birthday yet, you're going to be going to your solar return 2024. And then you're going to go to the solar only tab, not the solar and birth, but solar only. No planets on the outside of the chart. So here we go. We've got Princess Catherine's solar return chart. It started January 9th. She has a relatively new solar return because that was her birthday. So when you're looking at yours, you're going to look at your first house here, and that's going to be the first month of your birthday and so on and so forth. So the second house for her would be February 9th, third house, March 9th, and so on. So where are we right now? We are in her third house is pretty important. Third house represents neighbors. It represents what you're talking about, what you're thinking about. Neptune is what she's thinking about. So that could be a doctor, could be healthcare. It's also drinking. We just saw her drinking Guinness with the Irish and paying the tab. So that definitely came true. There's a really nice rectangle here, right there. So this can show things that are pleasant and things that are exciting and things that work well together. So we like that for her. There's 2 signs that are coming through. She's already in the Neptune, so we've seen that picture. We're going to see a lot of photos of her, I think, because of the Neptune. Neptune represents photos. North Node is like a foreign photo. Maybe she's going somewhere. She's speaking a foreign language. I don't know. But then we're going to move in to Aries. And Aries, you can see this is April 9th. So it's kind of like a good barometer. Like, when is this supposed to start? I think it's probably going to be maybe the last week of March, maybe the first. Yeah, I want to say it's like March 25th or something like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to look and see where Mars is. Oh, and by the way, we're going to get some cards going in a little bit. So I don't make your brain completely explode from all of this. So Mars is going to rule March 25th to maybe the end of April. And it's in the 8th house here. So this is kind of difficult, especially with retrograde. And in the 8th house, Could be things that have to do with finances. Yet, what I'm a little concerned about is this T square here. We've got Black Moon Lilith way up at the top. This could be a politician, a bad politician, saying something to make her mad. This is something, the sun too has to do with your confidence, your vitality. It could be somebody behind the scenes saying, We know you needed to do that or wanted to do that, but you can't." Why? Just because that would be Black Moon Lilith. And so it's sort of like it's not an easy, this T square, when you have Black Moon Lilith in the middle of it. Now, this might come back around when the 10th house activates. So that's not until October, November, December. Yeah, that's in October. So that could be coming in October as well. But something is activating here that has to do with Aries. It could be the war theme. It can be just basically trying to be ambitious about something, trying to get something done, be the leader. And there are some actual nice aspects to it too. So it's kind of like it's a mixed bag for her. But want to see what this T square is with Black Moon Lilith. This is out in the open. There's not there aren't a lot of like stelliums here, so it doesn't look like something that is outrageously famous that is terrible or anything like that. But I think I'm going to use these cards to figure out what's going to happen for her when Mars retrograde aspects. It looks like some kind of abusive nature of someone that she might have to deal with. So, what I'd like to do is find out who this person is. And so she knows ahead of time. Hey, Soda Pop. So glad you could make it. Yes, retrograde. And thank you for Princess Katherine. Who is this Black Moon Lilith? I give us some kind of profile of who she's going to have to deal with coming up in probably around April. Oh, Ace of Cups. So could be the beginning of something, could be something that has to do with romance. I like Ace of Cups. So, this could be something. I don't know. I'm going to have to get a clarifier card. What would be, it looks like a woman. This is a woman, but don't get the wrong idea. She's no good. She is no good. Looks like she might be beautiful too because of the Libra there. Who is this Black Moon Lilith that is blocking Princess Katherine? Eight of Pentacles. Maybe she is somebody who is planning something, gathering all the data. Has something to do with, it's weird because pentacles are coming in. I do see some financial elements, not just for her, but also Pippa. So I don't know how that makes any sense, but we're going to try to get to the bottom of it. Toy, you said, I keep getting teared up the last few days and I have no reason for it. I hate that feeling when you don't even know why. I know. I'm doing it right now. What deck are you using? David and Carol Hawkins says, this is the Seers card. Yeah. This is the front of them. And yeah, I love them. They're very good with clues. Like, if there's a boat involved, we're going to see a boat. So it's kind of crazy like that. All right. So maybe one more card. How about one more card? Is Princess Katherine going to be affected negatively by this woman? Like, we got two women cards. Who could these people be that are kind of giving her a hard time? The Sun. So yet another woman. Could be a blonde woman. I don't see many blonde women around her. So yeah, I'm seeing that Black Moon Lilith. That's possibly going to come in around once Mars activates, which is probably going to be starting May 25th. But, when it's in the Aries and it's around the 3rd and 4th house, sometimes that can be something that has to do with the home, There is going to be something that makes her mad. When you have Mars in a bad aspect like that, it's going to be upsetting and it could have something to do with home matters. This is a shocker. This is the solar return for Jackie Kennedy. And I just put this in here because I wanted to see what her year looked like. Didn't really have much to do with Katherine, but her birthday, Jackie Kennedy's birthday, was on July 28th. And this would be the year her husband would be assassinated. And so I put a little visual there, and let me make it a little bit bigger. You can see there right around November 22nd. That's when Gemini would be activating, and give or take. Gemini is interesting because it does have to do with transportation and cars. So, hi, Sandra. Jackie Kennedy's solar return chart. Oh boy. So you can see that November 22nd would be around the Gemini time frame. Now, keep in mind that we're going to look at the ascendant. This is how people are going to see you. And this is going usually with Capricorn, we see if Saturn here is in poor aspect, which it is. It's like a triple whammy. We've got retrograde, we've got red lines, oppositions and squares, and we've got the good Lord, we've got the symbol for despair and sadness right on her ascendant. And so we've got a lot going on here that would tell you that she's going to be pretty sad this year. This is how you look to others. Um, and so, and of course, Capricorn means black. So here is a closer look as to November 22nd when everything was happening. And so, just as in her chart says, this would be around November for her. And what's really weird is right around this part of the zodiac is Algol. And he would obviously, he had his head taken off. So that would be the Medusa sign right here. So could have been around here that November 22nd happened, could have been in the Gemini, but it was right around that area. So there's the ascendant that's going to show what we would see when we saw Jacqueline Kennedy in 1963. But what was happening in that first month? Because really, if you look at it technically, Capricorn is between July 28th and August 28th, right? So why was she sad during that month? Nothing happened with her husband then, but that would be the year, or that would be the month that her, I think it was, was it her third child, was stillborn. So they were really in mourning, right as he was born. I believe it was August 7th. So the whole year would start off sad. It was, when you have Capricorn and it is in such bad aspect like that, meaning Saturn has a red line, wherever it is, it could be, it's usually an opposition or a square. You're going to be talking about death, funerals, sadness. I'm so sad. Oh, I'm so sad for you. My condolences. That's that Capricorn energy. That's the being let down for whatever reason. So that would happen for Jackie Kennedy that year. And so that's what she would look like. We would see her in black and looking terribly, terribly sad. So this, I think, has to do with a shock. She's completely, completely shocked. And she's got the T square here, right there, with Mercury. And Mercury often shows a baby. So this is a little king. This is a little king that died with Saturn there, opposition to Saturn. It was a shocking death. We've got a lot of Scorpio here. This would be a pregnancy. So the pregnancy just did not work out. I know it's a sad topic, but it kind of just shows such an interesting visual, I think, in her solar return chart. I believe too, his airway was blocked, which would be Aquarius. And then I also think that affected the heartbeat too. So that was really the problem there right in the beginning for that year for her. And we would look at the moon for her husband because it's the seventh house lord right here. But we would also look at Jupiter here. And Jupiter is in Aries. And there is another T square here. So if this is November 22nd, where he's in Dallas, well, then what's here like the month before? It could have been even around, yeah. So this was in the October time frame. This shows like almost like a war. Jupiter representing a husband in Aries. It also looks like he's pretty angry too. He's angry about something. He's talking about something. It might have to do with his work. And what I realized was that around October, around that time period, he was trying to figure out what to do about President Diem. And he was the president of the Personalist Labor Revolutionary Party of the Republic of Vietnam. Long story short, Kennedy, um, he had been aware of some coup planning over there, and it's all about overthrowing this. So what he was doing, the coup was led by General Van Min and started on November 1st, 1963. Um, so this was all part of what Kennedy was involved with. He was apparently getting the CIA to overthrow this government. So when you're talking about Aries, you're talking about um, a lot of blood, a lot of war types of things. There were plots and counter plots, and I'm trying to see here. God, there's a lot online about it. I mean, this is a big, big deal. And it happened right before Kennedy's assassination. So, what I'm trying to get at is it's like two assassinations, two coups that were going to be happening. And one was going to be happening right here. And look at how you can see Jupiter is trining Mercury. That's two. So, two governments. There were going to be a lot of Gemini themes. It was like, he would be greenlighting an overthrow of a foreign government or overthrowing a foreign government. And then his government would be overthrown the next, basically that month, really. I think it was November 1st that it happened. So we also saw a lot of pictures here of a group like Leo, a lot of people who were also very sad. This is Capricorn, and this is an opposition to Venus, but let me see here. Where's Mercury? Yeah, so she is here. This is Jackie. There's a square to Uranus, which is looking completely shocked. And then you can also see this group around her was shocked too, because this is the group of Leos, of leaders, of Kennedys. And they are also shocked with that T square. Aquarius shows that they're completely shocked. Keeping in mind too, you're going to be seeing a body around her. You're going to be seeing a casket around her. That would be in the first house. And, they wouldn't want her to do a lot of things. So there's a lot of disagreements as to what she wanted to do versus what the family wanted to do. I always think about names, as you know, and I think about what types of sign they represent. And I thought, with Kennedy, it's like you really have to think. But K represents the king. Kennedy, king has K and N in it. I mean, it might be it might be a stretch, but it's definitely the family of kings. And yeah, so it was a difficult year for her. I mean, just the worst of the worst. It was like, how much death can a person take? And it was like in twos. It it was just a double whammy for her. Let's see. We might as well look at while I'm on this. Let me see what you guys are saying. Thanks, Brenda. Yes, don't forget to hit the likes. Okay. Lynn's, hi, Val. Sorry I'm late to the live. Sorry if I sound really stupid, but could you advise how the red and blue lines are decided upon? Well, these are aspects, they are trines, oppositions, and this is just how the planets align in the sky. And so there's something called triplicity. And so, like, if you have a grand trine, that's going to be planets that are all in the same element. And so they flow, they all work well together. It's kind of like the blue lines show up when it's sort of the team, everybody helps and things move forward faster and they're easier, usually. Unless, it could also be your hidden enemies are easily lining up and working together. So you kind of have to read it in that context. You look at the 12th house lord, or there are other ways to do it. But yeah, it just depends on how the planets are aligning at that moment. And this would be the day that she would have her birthday, and it's the planets that aligned in the sky for Jackie on that day of her birthday in 1963. Oh, hey, Heather. So, yeah, we're talking about something a little bit dour, a little bit depressing, but it's so interesting as to I agree that is so horrible. The poor woman went through it all, and that's right, not stillborn, died a few days after birth. Hmm. Yes, Patrick was the stillborn baby, and I'm glad you mentioned it. That's what his name was, Patrick, and so it's almost like this is Patrick, okay. But the opposite to Mercury is a twin. So this is the little baby and his father. Oh, God. Wow. My God. Okay. Yeah. So Mercury is a very small, usually newborns. And so baby and father don't make it this year. And, with Neptune right here, it is a big, big scandal and mystery of what happened. Not necessarily for Patrick, but Patrick is tied to this. So interesting that Saturn is normally a father, but you could also read it as because it's attached to Mercury, it could show the state of the child as well, and it is around her. She's the first house. What is in your solar return chart for that year? Uh, there could be a lot of planets in there. That means there are a lot of people around you. There could be, nothing in there, and you won't be seeing that many people as you would if there were a lot of planets in the first house. Okay, so you said Patrick. Well, I added this picture of Patrick Shriver Schwarzenegger, and his great aunt is Jackie Kennedy. So, kind of like the twin, maybe you could say. And this is a recent photo of his fiance, Abby Champion. So, looks like a couple of Leos here, doesn't it? So, this is Patrick Schwarzenegger's soul birth chart. Is it birth chart? Yeah, it's his birth chart. And what do you know? Saturn in Aquarius retrograde. It's almost like Patrick Schwarzenegger could be potentially the twin of Patrick Bouvier Kennedy. And thankfully, not in the full sense, but it is definitely, obviously, the twin name. So the two Patricks. And check this out. So the first house shows your identity. Now, he's an actor, but Mercury is in the first house, and it is whatever is going to sextile to your first house is part of your identity. And here we go, trining the south node in Gemini. The twins, that would be his uncles. And so that he would carry that with him. That's part of who he is. Uh, Libra is like the good looking one. So he's kind of like got their good genes. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. His dad will be Jupiter in this is Patrick Schwarzenegger's house, Jupiter at 18. So 18 can be the evil degree to some extent. Not to say he's an evil person, but he might do evil acts. And with a square to, and this is in Patrick Schwarzenegger's chart, birth chart, there is a terrible scandal. It's a shocking scandal with his father. So kind of crazy. And the other thing that is also similar with the two Patricks is that there would be father shocks, Saturn being father. So they definitely have that in common. So it's a different way to look at it. But yeah, when I was thinking about Patrick Kennedy, and of course there's going to be something French involved with the Kings, right? So Jacqueline Bouvier Kennedy, her last name, her maiden name is French. She speaks French, so you're going to have the French speakers. It's so weird because I have Leo in my chart, and my mom speaks French. I'm interested in the royals, but it's not my. It's not in my top 3. It's not my rising sign, sun, or moon. It's just that people around me, I guess, have Leo, and my. Oh, here's the other thing. My Saturn, my progressed Saturn is in Leo right now. So I guess I'm just talking about it. But also the people around me, like I said, have those Leo characteristics, like my mom. Okay. So I thought that was kind of wild. So we're going to look at Pippa Middleton's chart. And hey, Caper Girl. Yeah, it is pretty wild, that natal charts. Yes. Brenda, you said twin could also be Arabella, the stillborn baby from 1956, also buried with JFK at Arlington. Yeah. Arabella. That's a good one. Yes, he's right, buried with JFK. You could see it, like we could spend the day on Patrick Schwarzenegger's chart because you could definitely see. I mean, well, let me go back. Oops. I wish I had not done this. It's all dark here, but there are. He's got Venus at 26 degrees. This is Patrick Schwarzenegger has Venus at 26 degrees Leo. This is a king. And holy God, you could see a big, big, big T square. And Pluto is part of that. And Pluto is to be murdered. So he was murdered. And that's all in Patrick Schwarzenegger's chart. Yet part of that is really helping him. I wonder if he's going to go into some kind of diplomatic role. It doesn't seem like it because seems like a pretty successful actor, but certainly seems like there could be something for him that has to do with diplomacy. I don't know. Sometimes Libra is just looking good. All right. Could be law, like JFK Jr. Okay. Yeah, weren't they lawyers? They were lawyers. So it definitely shows who these people are. They were also lawyers. Maybe Patrick Schwarzenegger is going to play a lawyer. That's a possibility. And also keeping in mind too, wasn't he a Virgo rising? Yeah. So Patrick Schwarzenegger's a Virgo rising. And you know who else is? Don Johnson. Don Johnson's a Virgo rising. And what do we always see him doing? Working. He's always working. He's investigating. And also he's known for his clothes too, either with his clothes on or his clothes off. So you see that a lot with Patrick Schwarzenegger. a lot of it about clothing, and you see him without a shirt, just like you used to see with Don Johnson. So this is Pippa's. Now we're really changing gears here, but we're going back to Katherine. It's just I saw those T squares and I wanted to take a look at them. Let me see here. I agree, Toy. Yes, older brother Joe died in a bombing mission during World War II. JFK's son also died in a plane crash. More twins. That's right. I know. Oh my God, I never thought about that, Brenda. That is so, and I feel like I think about everything. That is crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Bombs and crashes. Oh, okay. That's what you meant. Yes, he definitely did. He did. I know. But he's always smoking a cigarette because Johnson, he's a Leo, right? So he's always smoking and working. And let's see here. Okay. So this is Pippa Middleton's solar return chart. So let's see what we can see. She started her chart September 6th. And so we're going to go, if you've got your chart up, you're going to look at your month. So hers would be September 6th, then this would start October 6th, then November 6th, and on and on. And this is the part where we are right now. Right here, we are just getting into the Aquarius sign. So it's going to be March 6th to around April 15th, because that's when Aquarius stops and Pisces starts. So what are you going to do? You're going to look at that. You're going to see that it has to do with maybe partnerships, husband, maybe a little bit of partner's money, contracts. Maybe you've got a contract going on right now and you're negotiating or something like that. It if Uranus, which for her is up here, right there, then it could be if it's in good aspect, it can be a nice month or two of like surprises, or things just move pretty fast like a rocket. It's like, God, I didn't know you guys were going to be ready to start that now, but yeah, sure, let's do it. And then suddenly everything happens all at once in a very good way. Now for Pippa, she's got a nice blue triangle there. So, and that's wow with Pluto, and we've got a lot of. I don't know if she works with diplomats or if she works in contracts or law, but seems like something is really kicking in there for her. It's pretty fast. Eighth house is friendships, neighborhood, social media. Yet, keeping in mind that the 11th house is also activating, and it represents her older sister. 11th house is sister. And so we're going to look and see what's in the 11th house, what's going on. And it does seem like there's going to be some kind of surprise. But look at how there is a red line that goes from, and this is not a surprise, this is just a shock right here. And it's a square to Mercury. Now we've seen that before. Nothing as dramatic, I don't think, as what Jacqueline Kennedy had to deal with. But this, and it's in the second house too. So there are some kind of real surprises here, personally, with potentially some kind of finance. I think it might have to do with somebody who might have stolen money, because Mercury in poor aspect, or a planet in Gemini in poor aspect, can show the thief. So there can be some kind of theft involved, but for sure there is something that's throwing off her older sister. We would look at what's in the 11th house, but we'd also look at the Lord too. So we're going to look at Venus. And where's Venus? Venus is down here. And in this like this is eclipse energy right here. It's hard. It's very, very hard. So now these cusps here can represent the parents. So my thought is it could be something that has to do with them personally. And we don't like to see shocks here. We'd also look to see what Mercury represents, to see if we could get another clue here. And Mercury represents the 12th house. So this is something that could be foreign, could be a foreign castle, could be some type of hidden enemy that you couldn't see before. So maybe there's some kind of shock between the older sister, Princess Catherine, and some kind of a hidden enemy who's trying to shock somehow. So I'm going to use the cards. We're going to see what we can see. Oh, Jan, I'm glad you could join us to clue us in. Pippa just lost her Daily Telegraph newspaper contract, I think. Oh my God, I didn't even know she had one. Okay, so that would be one thing that's kind of, and there's somebody in there in the middle of the contracts. It's the Black Moon Lilith. And it's just doing it just to do it. It doesn't even care what you think. Just get out of here, you know? Jan, you said, Pippa just opened glamping tents on her 15-acre Bucklebury farm. No planning permission required. Local says we're not happy. Okay. Okay. So fourth house could be property. Yeah, it definitely looks like a fight. It looks like a fight. And something that has to do with finances. Yeah, maybe she can't do exactly what she wants to do this month and in April because she's having to fight in court. That's very possible. So so let's do some cards here. And oops. Why isn't this working? Okay. Why don't I use an astrology card about, I'm really interested in Princess Catherine. And why I'm seeing what I'm seeing in Pippa's chart is there going to be some kind of surprise or shock with Princess Catherine coming up in March or April. So let's see here. Fire element. Desire. A desire to do something. And let me get a clarifier card for that. Well, you know what? Leo is a fire. So yes, and we talked about it last year because there was so much Leo. Could be some kind of fire that happens where they have to get out of the house, and it could cause financial damage. So I just want a clarifier card. Okay, first house, the body. Okay, let me put that up right so you can see it. Okay. Well, it's also the heart too. The heart in the back. Mercury is small, so something small, something you might have to take care of. Yeah, Heather, I reminded people so many times that there hasn't been a total lunar eclipse since the 8th of November 2022 until the recent one. Eclipses hide and then reveal. I know, the Koberger case, crazy what's coming out. Heather. You can't get over that. Well, it's true. It is. I know. Johnson is, that's what you're going to be. If you're a Leo in good aspect, like Don Johnson was, people are going to think you're hot. So that's going to be the word. It's just the way it goes. All right. So let me see about more clues about Princess Catherine. Could there be a fire in a royal household in late March, April? Three of Swords. Okay. And let me get a clarifier card for maybe some kind of fire that pops up that's unexpected. Five of Wands. Looks like fire. So, just, I don't think Princess Catherine would do this, but maybe have a courtier go around and check some of the alarms. Janie said, Pippa also in dispute with closing of an ancient public right-of-way over Bucklebury, now marked no public access, in theory illegal. Yeah, so you can see there's a lot of issues for Pippa, most definitely in her chart. And yeah. You're talking about Don Johnson. Yeah. he's the best. Like, you couldn't get anyone like, I do not wanna say that, but you couldn't get anyone more Leo, in my opinion, in the '80s. So, all right, so let me go back to the chart. Yeah, that T-square, yikes. It's a big fight, and it has to do with around her home, but also maybe affecting her sister as well. Venus, that's so weird how Venus in Libra for this year means beautiful sister, but she's able to do something fast for Pippa. It looks like she's helping Pippa. And the reason I say that, I mean, this is basically Pippa right here. And you've got the sextile to, like, this is Princess Catherine's energy. This is, I mean, Princess Catherine looks sad about something. I don't know what, but why would you say that? Because of the T square. T square, that automatically activates the south node, upset, despair, sadness. But with them, with Pippa and her sister, you can see a nice little sextile there. And there's also a trine to Neptune as well. There's something coming up, guys. This looks odd to me. I like to look at the ninth house because it shows what's in the press, what is going on in the courts, and what's going on in your marriage. And I'm afraid to say her marriage looks in trouble because of the T square there to the ninth house. I was looking at Martha Stewart's ninth house for the year that she separated from her husband, Andy. And she had Saturn moon in her ninth house that year, which can mean sadness and despair. So this potentially could have something to do with the marriage. I mean, Jupiter's right here, and that's Jupiter's in Gemini. And then you add a square to Saturn. That is not talking to each other for whatever reason. So that is going to be coming up. When does that come up? That'll be April. Okay, so that's April 6th, May 6th. This looks like May, and it looks like something is being reported about it. So very possible it could be just gossip, because Gemini is gossip. But that might be one of the big things that Pippa's got to worry about coming up, that maybe somebody that she knows is saying something to the press. Maybe it has something to do with her contract there with the press, that ninth house, that newspaper. Did you say Daily Express? That's like the stopping of that publication. But usually it has there's something else that goes along with that. It's not just that one thing. There could be other ninth house matters that are kind of being slowed down. Pippa's seen alone frequently. Oh, that is so sad. There's nothing more sad than when you see the ninth house in bad shape that year, because it just looks so sad. Brenda, I could not agree with you more. Hello, Stone Rider. I'm so glad to hear that there are so many different people from different parts of the world. Panama Canal. I wonder what it's like to be there. I don't know. I've never been to Panama. Okay, some say Katherine living with mom and sister at Buckleberry. Interesting. Okay. Well, whatever they're planning, I don't want to say shocks, but it's a surprising change. It is a switch. They've got to completely undo it or unravel it or change it. And so, I mean, that's coming up 4 to 6 weeks. So I don't know if we're going to hear about it, but it's definitely coming up. And yeah, so I hope you guys can join me on Friday with Amber. We're going to do the charts and cards, and we're going to look ahead. for world predictions and royal revelations. Toy. Yes, Don Johnson has aged like fine wine. I agree. And uh, oh my God, Toy, Jesus, twinning divorces. I don't think. I don't think. I think one of them wants one really badly, but can't have one. I won't say who, but yeah, look at all of that Libra. That is a marriage. These are married people that are in a real bad way for a little while. For a little while, and then they move on. They figure it out. Hey, Eleanor. Yes, that's amazing. Well, we'll have to get to the bottom of it with Amber on Friday. That's going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern, and I think it's 7 p.m. GMT. And I know I was, but then you sucked me back in with the twinning divorces. But um, once you get into the Aquarius part, and it's in the seventh house, and Uranus is not aspected very well, this can be something that is changing quite shockingly. So yes. All right. Oh, toy. Wow. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. All right. Thank you, Jan. Thanks for giving us the tips. Thank you, Brenda, for moderating. And thank you, Angel, for coming on in and moderating as well. Um, it's amazing how early you get up. But we'll see you next time. Oh, I wanted to say one more thing. I think it's going to be today. I'm going to do a crypto prediction for this year. It's for XRP. Look it up. I think it's like at $2 and something. There's a few crypto opportunities, but I want to look at one of them and see what's going to happen with regard to potentially making some money. So, oh, that's good, Toy. Oh, Jan, she married James Matthews. That's Gemini. That's crazy. Oh, you've been up since 4. Well, I hope you can sleep. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to try to come on a little bit later today, and we're going to look at the XRP solar return chart. It is wild. It's like it looks good, then it looks terrible, then it looks amazing, and it's up and down and up and down. So if you can figure it out, you could probably make some good money. So me too, Carla. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys soon.